It was a beautiful service.
Camarero, I go back. Camarero. I get the sad.
Gosh, 5:30 already. Did you get my email about the agenda for the cow? What if it didn't go through? I sent it kind of late. Doesn't matter.
I may have not been here.
Okay. Sorry, I left the papers here. Jimmy, I put on your desk a copy of that, the thing you didn't get last week, that was the charter review plan.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, just, sorry I didn't get that sent over earlier. But let's start by reviewing the agenda items. First one is adopting the minutes from the last meeting. They looked good to me. Anybody else? Thank you, Emily. Okay. The next one is about waiving fees for 218 West Main Street. Alderman Marcello, can you give us some background on that?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry, the chief was just filling me in on something.
I think you just threw the chief under the bus.
I'm sorry, okay. Okay. Resolution, okay. Waiving late fees, okay. 218 East Main Street. Trying to think which one was this.
The Westerns.
Huh?
This is Mr. Pep's,
Which one is this?
the restaurant, the old Pep's restaurant, remember?
Oh, yeah, Old Pep's Restaurant down there. It said the fees were erroneously issued as the owner of the parcel. He lives continuously in Montgomery County. It says if you live in the county, you don't need to pay the fees. That's how the law reads. And he did not know that. He was paying the fees, so what we're doing, we're just gonna waive him because he lives there.
He lives at 218?
Yeah.
But it says he lives in a
The fees were
contiguous
erroneously,
county.
Yeah,
the fees
contiguous.
were erroneously issued as the owner of the parcel lives in a contingency county. If you live in the county, that's basically borders Montgomery County. We had a problem with that up in Fulton County where the person over in Valley View Motel or somewhere was living in Fulton County. But the law, if you border the county, if you border Montgomery County, then you don't have to pay. And she did not know that.
Does it matter if it's in a corporate name?
I'm not sure.
I don't think it does.
I think if it's in a corporate name.
All of these properties are, they're not the residence properties.
So in the past, we've been asked because people didn't file, but this person filed and paid when all they had to do was file. Is
Yeah,
what you're saying?
they filed their
Okay.
designated registered agency. They already did the paper.
They did the paper, yeah.
Yes.
So like when we did that
Paperwork's already done.
before, where it
Yes.
was like the church and we decided if we were gonna do that or not, they hadn't paid and they hadn't filed. In this
So
case,
how much are we
he
waiving?
paid and filed. But he
You know
doesn't
the
need to
amount,
pay.
Jim?
We're waiving. how
So
much?
he's just getting a reimbursement essentially.
No, is it six, how much is it?
That's three.
Well, if we count up until this month, it's 1,380.
That we're
He
just
filed.
waiving.
He filed already, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, before the,
So he filed and paid.
He didn't pay the
No, he
penalty
didn't pay
last,
the
the
penalty.
580
it
something,
was
right?
580, yeah, it was 552.
Okay.
552.
He would have owed another 848, right?
Yes.
If he didn't
Yes.
file.
Yep.
But he did file, but he did not get the notice. He used to live above this building
Right.
and then he moved to
Fulton County.
Fulton County. So he thought he was all squared away.
Because the law does say if you border the county, okay, you don't have to. If you're border
He
the
did
county.
not get the renewal form. He said he didn't get the renewal form, but he had already filed. I mean, it was,
They probably mailed it to where he used to live. And that's what I'm assuming. But you see, here's the problem. A lot of these things went out in the mailing, where they used to be or where they were. And now it's different now. Because,
But I've told people that I'm not waiving fees. If they got billed for it, I'm not waiving them.
if they didn't want,
If they got billed,
But what if there was an address and they didn't live there anymore?
If they didn't have if they didn't own the property, that's different, but they, you know, they had it in an LLC or they had it in a corporate name and they charged.
No, it was in his name. It was not in it. It wasn't.
So at the time the initial bill went out, it was in his name?
Yes.
That property was in
Yes.
his name?
Yes. It was the old Pep's restaurant. He's a Pep. And he lived upstairs. And he's been there forever. You know what I'm saying?
So he never had a file, because he lived there. But because he went to Fulton, he went to another county, he still doesn't have to file.
Because it's touching.
He's still in the county.
He has to file. He doesn't have to pay.
Pay.
Right, that's
Right.
right. You don't have to pay, that's
And
right.
he didn't file because he didn't get the papers.
And because he
And then when he
didn't file,
got the
he's getting
papers, he
fined.
brought them in and he filed. And he said, you know, I never did this before. And we mistakenly did it because he was in a contiguous county. But he didn't get the mail, and that's the way it was explained to us. And I mean, if you look at his taxes, if you look at everything else, he pays everything on time. It's not like he's you know,
He's not one of those absentee landlords.
no, he's not.
So he
He
paid
owns a-
five
he
hundred
owns
and
a
something
business
dollars.
right there.
This is
He
the
did
guy we
not
talked
pay.
about a
He
month
did
ago.
not pay that amount of money because we billed him that as a penalty for not filing.
Okay.
He didn't pay that. When he came in that's when he said, what's this for? And he came in, he got the explanation from the clerk, and that's when he asked for the waiver, and he explained the situation to us.
Right.
Do we need to amend it, put an actual dollar amount on there?
Well, it said the fees were erroneously issued as the owner of the parcel lives in a contiguous county. If you want to put the fees down, what are they, Emily? The,
1,380.
Well, if we added, but he paid her for 552, it was 552,
so it's five,
without the extra.
it's 552?
552.
Can someone just explain it to me like I'm 5 years old?
Yes.
Only because I've said no to 2 people about this?
Yes, absolutely.
What is the difference between this case and, for example, the 2 cases I had, which was they just didn't file it. They were supposed to, they didn't file it. They got hit with fees month after month after month. They asked me if I could waive it. I said, nope, you're responsible for filing it. I'm not gonna bring this in front of council.
Every case is different. Some
Where
cases-
did they live?
They were both real estate agents.
Okay, I don't know what the situation is.
Right.
I could explain
This isn't my
why.
ward though, yeah.
I could explain why.
Well, let's explain,
The
just this
property's
one.
in your ward or their residence, where they live
Property's
is
in my
in
Well,
my.
let's explain the $500 versus the $800.
Right.
So this first $500, what is that?
That's because he said he never got the forms in the first place
Yes.
because they were mailed to the restaurant, on top of the restaurant where I gotta stop saying restaurant, on top of the property, he lived above his business property.
Sure.
They mailed him there. He moved to Fulton County.
I give her all.
Yeah, right?
Right, Fulton County.
He never paid this before. He didn't know what it was, right? He did not, go ahead.
Yeah, when he came, he said he had never gotten he didn't receive
Because
forms
he'd
of
always
mail
lived
because he
here.
didn't understand what resident agent was because he didn't know that. He
Sure.
didn't know when he moved to the other county that he was supposed to.
And
I
because
guess
he was
said
in
never
Fulton
got
County,
the
he didn't
forms.
have to pay that.
You don't have. to-
Sure, and I get that, but just wanted to know the difference between that and the case that,
Well, there's other cases. There's-
According to Montgomery County property records, the property is in the name of 218 West Main Street Incorporated.
Okay.
Just to answer that
Okay.
question that was asked.
Well, I don't think never getting the paperwork or not getting the mail, like I've supported the fact that like the US, if you send it in the US Postal Service, then there's an assumption that they got it. And that's how the federal government works. It's how a lot of these agencies have to work. You can't just say like, you didn't get it.
But he didn't deserve the paperwork because, you know what I'm saying?
Well, he still had to
There's the
file.
paperwork.
No, but he
well,
still had
He
to
still had to
file.
file.
Let
He
me
still
ask
had
you
to
this.
file.
So
Emily,
is the fee for not filing?
I mean, your other paperwork.
Fees
did
for
he
not
come in-
filing something.
Did he come in and fill out the paperwork?
He did,
It's all filled out.
he did.
Okay, so when he was fully notified of all this, it's all filled out. He did it. That's the whole thing.
Everybody did it once they came in and did it though. I mean, once they agreed or they noticed that they had to do it. But we've told people,
From what I was told.
No,
that
before.
All his mail used to go upstairs where he lived. Now he moves up to Boston spot, or Broad Albin. All right, so the mail that went there, they go here. So he never got it. He never knew even he had to do this because he always lived in Amsterdam. He never knew he had to do it. He still doesn't have to do it because he lives in a neighboring county. That's also part of it. He still doesn't have to do it, okay? But he just didn't know he had to do it because he never had to do it before because he always lived in Amsterdam. So the law says, of course, you gotta have a registered agent. Okay, now, this is a gray area, okay? Now, does he have to do it? Yeah, because you know why? It says you have to do it. But the law says you don't have to do it because he lives in the bordering county. But he didn't get the mail because he moved from Amsterdam to Bar Offer. He didn't get it. A lot of these places, and I know for a fact, and I might disagree with other people, but the mail went to a wrong address. Result to an old address. Now, we've had this before, this mailing. I personally, I wanna go registered mail. But Stephanie said it costs too much money.
Does this form go to all businesses? Is that where it goes?
I mean, this
It
is
goes
what I
to all
mean.
businesses, properties? Every business has to
This
have
has to
it?
do with the vacant property.
This-
or not,
Vacant
I'm sorry, not the
property,
vacant
it's
property.
Probably the worst law
This is-
ever written.
The
This is
business
the
registry.
non-resident,
Let's get rid of
residential,
it.
or commercial
Right.
property owner registration.
Right. So he never had to fill this out before because he lived on top of the restaurant, right?
Never had to do it
Or
before.
did he still have to fill it out because he lived on top of the restaurant?
No.
When you read into it, there is something about whether you're an individual or an LLC
Okay.
and not a real person. I would defer to the corporation counsel on what that means, and chapter 156 has been changed a couple times.
I don't like chapter 156.
That's what this is all about.
It's the worst, law that's ever been written in this city. And it was by an old administration that did this for whatever reason, we have no idea why. You can make it, and the way it's computed, if you don't know, it's based on the assessment of your house.
No, but my question is, does every
That's all
business
counties
have to
said.
fill this out regardless? Or does it say when they get the letter that if you live in the city or you live in a contiguous county, you don't have to fill this out?
If you're an LLC.
Go ahead.
From what I've understood from looking at the
Okay.
spreadsheets and everything and reading this, when somebody purchases a parcel, property in the city of Amsterdam and, the change comes to the clerk's office, Stephanie goes into the registered agent, spreadsheets, and it'll say what she gets from the assessor, it'll say that the person, this is the property address, and it'll give the address that the person lives at, actually gets mail at. And if their mailing address is different from the property address, and they're not within the county of Montgomery or a contiguous county, then they get a letter with the law and the registered agent forms and a letter explaining that because they do not live in a contiguous county or Montgomery County, they have to register. And especially if they're an LLC, they have to register.
So if they
whatever.
live in a
It's so
contiguous
A little
county,
bit, yeah.
they do not have to
They
register.
do have to register.
If it's
Well,
an individual,
If
if they're an LLC, they have to, if they're an individual
This
person,
letter, that's what I
yeah,
wanted to know.
if they're an individual person
well, I
and
think,
they live in a
Sure,
contiguous
both.
county, they don't have to register a designated agent. But if they're an LLC or a corporation who owns property, then they do have to register. Yeah, it's very confusing.
So my
It's in
case,
2020.
I had two people who were real estate agents. They should have registered, they should have
Yes.
paid, they were incorporated or LLCs or what have you.
Yes, yeah,
Okay, I feel better about what I said then on the phone.
yeah.
I don't understand. I'm glad you
What
do.
if they, but
Good
if
job.
they are the owner of the LLC that lives in Montgomery County, are they still?
And can we get rid of this law? Can we get rid of this?
I
Or is this
have
revenue
so
for
many
us?
people
I don't
calling
think-
about this, that I live in Montgomery
That's the
County,
issue,
but this is
and we
my
gotta straighten it
LLC,
out.
but I live in the
Right.
city of Amsterdam, but I don't live at that parcel, but I live right down the street. Why do I have to pay? Yeah, I get it every day.
I don't know that getting rid of it altogether is just the best thing,
Clarifying it.
but it needs to be overhauled at a
Sure.
minimum.
We can
And
put it
I-
on our list for the charter
And I
review
certainly
commission.
would
Thank you,
support,
Kelly.
I certainly would
Put a
support
star after that one.
modifying the ordinance to have a standardized fee rather than it being based upon
Exactly.
a
I
percentage
mean,
of these.
I agree.
it does have merit, this law, because.
Oh, absolutely has merit, but it's
You know,
poorly
it's like if
explained.
there's a
poorly
break-in
presented.
in the house and the fire department or police department have to get a hold of the person that owns the house and
Right.
no one's there.
There's value in
That's
that.
why it's
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Because now they know who to call. If it's an LLC or somebody, a registered agent, who to call. That's why it's good,
Yes.
really. But then the fees, how they're computed is based on the house. If it's worth $200,000, you gotta pay a huge fee. If it's you live in a shack, they don't pay nothing, basically.
Anthony, do we have to make an amendment to put the dollar amount on this resolution?
Well,
You don't have to. You can.
I'm glad we cleared that up, Kelly.
We did, didn't we?
Maybe we could implement a shack fee, Jimmy.
The shack. All right, so does everybody have a level of comfortability on this, that they know how
They
they're
know
gonna
how they're gonna
vote
vote.
when we get to it?
Yes.
Cool. It'll be a surprise to everyone. Resolution 2425-63, Alderwoman Collins, resolution authorizing a 5-year contract for the New York State Unified Court System.
Chief?
This is a yearly contract with the court system. Nothing really has changed.
We have a 5-year contract in place, but this is just dealing with the renewal period from April through March 31 of next year. The reason why it's done annually is based upon the governor's budget.
Any changes, chief, that,
Nothing major. I mean, I think last year they wanted more, in their office area. This year, not so much. I think it went down because of that. Other than that, nothing else is really changed.
okay. Any questions on that, guys?
Okay. All right, the next one is resolution 2426-64 by Mayor Sinquani. Resolution authorizing option agreement for the sale and development of 208 to 210 East Main Street and 212 East Main Street to Veterans Time to Thrive, Inc.
this is which one?
This is 2425-64. This is the pavement at Veterans
Oh,
Time.
yeah, it's, Mr. Mendez, yes. Actually, Mr. Mendez talked to the mayor and I think I talked to a few about this. The property down by the old DiCaprio Diner, where it used to be on East Main Street. Right now, it's got all kind of construction equipment on it. And Mr. Mendez, and I forgot the name, excuse me, I forgot the name what he wants the house for. The name of it?
Veterans Time to Thrive.
It's BB3, it's, yeah.
So he owns a piece of property on Upper Fourth Street, and then this property comes right down to Main Street. It's the two properties where DiCaprio's Diner or Carmen's Diner used to be, where we demolished and everything out of it. So he is, if he has a large piece of property, he can go for funding, because he has the property to apply for more funding, because he can go now to the government and say, this is what property I own. I need money, I want to build a home for the veterans and families. So by selling him this piece of property, and if you saw pictures, which we all did, it's a beautiful property. And he recorded with a nice piece on it, and you can see where, once he gets this large piece of land, it's gonna improve that area in the East End. And it also has a very worthwhile cause. And Mr. Mendez and his wife Tanya are very, very devoted in fundraisers and trying to get this up on the ground. Talked to the mayor about it and myself, and we're all for it. We feel we should sell to them, because it's only an empty lot right now, tucked in weeds and dirt and everything else. So I think it'd be a good idea that we do sell to them, so we can apply for grants and have a beautiful structure there.
Understood.
Questions about this? Anyway,
So if it doesn't go through, say it doesn't go through, and does the land revert to us? Can he
Well,
sell?
there's I think
What
we
happened?
if
did say
if
there
by
was an agreement.
January 1st, he has not met the conditions of this
Right.
action.
Right.
It would, we wouldn't exercise it.
Right. There is a revert clause.
It's not a revert.
It's not a revert clause,
Don't-
'cause
don't-
He
Okay, I
doesn't
won't,
own
I
it.
won't use that word.
Yeah,
Sorry,
he
Tony.
won't get the
No, no.
property.
Yeah.
You just won't get the property.
Right,
How's that?
right, right. I know what you meant,
But it
but
does come back to us. It does.
It never leaves.
It never leaves
It never
us.
leaves.
Okay.
Okay, all right, thank you.
An option to buy.
Yeah, Veterans Time to Thrive.
Yes. Okay,
The contract is attached. Let me just make sure. Okay, the next one, Alderman Carpenter, resolution 24-25-65, resolution appointing commissioner of deeds.
Grant Eggleston, It's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
You know, it's a 2-year term.
And he needs it for his
I
job.
think Grant would be fine at that. It would be good.
Yeah, and the clerk and I chose you to sponsor it, because you sponsored the last few of them, so. You're a Commissioner of Deeds guy.
Super.
Super. The next one, 24-25-66, Alderman Marticello.
Yeah. Resolution authorizing sale of surplus equipment. And if you see, it says the city of Anson identified material, whether it be in the DPW, whether it be in the police department, or golf, anything that we have to sell. And Colorado City's auction, which has been our auctioneer for us 20-some years, has done this before. And they talked to Louise about this, and they have done this, and they talked to other department heads, and the department heads gave them a list of what they want to sell, what uses the city no more. And we're gonna go on a public auction for this and sell the equipment. The proceeds will go to the general funds or the department funds.
And our old chairs are in it.
No way.
Oh, yes, they are. Our old chairs are
They
in.
are.
I can't wait to hear what they go
I wonder if you gotta buy them all.
Louise,
You can just buy one.
for. You've been trying to buy one. Get on that auction.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll break up the set or not. That'll be up to they to decide.
They can have
Worth
it,
more
because I'm
than
not buying
that.
9 chairs.
I do need to, just add a couple of other items that came to me after this
Amendment?
was printed, so we just
Okay.
need to do an amendment, yeah.
Yeah.
To add a tow behind gas-powered cement mixer
A tow behind gas-powered cement mixer.
and a spectro, all right, forgive me, I'm gonna mutilate this word, spectrophotometer. Zach, help, am I saying that right?
What is it, Zach?
It's
It's a-
lab equipment.
It's for water.
Spectrophotometer, and it's a meter for the labs that, can tell what is in the water based on how light refracts in the meter.
Very good.
We have a new one, so we don't need this one.
What about the cement mixer? Was, that's just an old one that we replaced?
Okay, so, okay, I'll make that amendment, okay? Add amendment to a new equipment. All right? Okay, any questions on that? Thank you very much.
They didn't want the punching bag for the workout room at the public safety building.
For free.
You know, they've got a workout room there. All right,
Miscellaneous clothing.
abandoned seats. Got lots of random things in these old houses. 67's the audit, Alderman Collins. Okay. We have one consent resolution, Alderman Holliday.
Yep, pretty cut and dry. This is basically, us looking to hire the services of, a wastewater plant operator. Mr. Clark explained this to us, I believe, last meeting regarding, how it's so important to stay in compliance with this stuff. So I guess that's, what we're doing here. Hiring someone by the name of Mr. Gorman. Zach, do you have any knowledge on this?
Yeah, so, DEC requires that we have a 4A operator for our wastewater system. We could get into the violations, but it's best not to, especially when we have the big project coming through and they're giving us an awful lot of money for it. So we gotta keep in their good graces. This is a temporary solution. We are actively looking for a 4A operator to have on staff. We just don't see it happening immediately, where we, kind of have to have some coverage during the gap. So we can stay in compliance.
So this is different from Randy, what Randy does?
Yes, Randy does drinking water.
Oh, okay.
This is the other end of the system.
Okay.
Is it?
Did we lose our?
Who's the guy, who's the guy there right now? Nagel, right?
Bob's last day was Friday,
Oh, he's not doing all this.
which is why we need this.
And Kevin was the previous
Kevin was in the
wastewater
previous one,
plant operator.
which is, it's always nice to have someone that's familiar with it. So we reached out to ones that were
Oh, very
familiar
good.
with the project already.
So the other guy, we.
Yeah, Kevin just got a job back
Okay,
home.
no,
so
Kevin's good.
They moved back home, but
Kevin's good.
yeah, he's great. We were sad to lose him.
All right, very good.
All right, so we talked a long time, about those things.
The engineer report.
Well, We'll get to that in the, like, I did want to talk about, some report, we will send you the committee reports. I think Alderman Carpenter, you want to talk about a committee?
I would like to know when we're going to have our first meeting for the cannabis committee, because we've been dealing with this, the moratorium's been in place for about 6 weeks now, and we had a 3-month moratorium, and I'd rather be a little proactive on this and not have to ask for more time. And if, I would like to know what your thoughts are and when we can start the process.
Tony, you want to handle it?
Well, I mean, I talked to the mayor about it this evening, and, you know, I think that for all intents and purposes, I think that we should be prepared to extend the moratorium by another 3 months. I don't know that we're gonna need the full 3 months, but that would be the period that you would extend it by, would be the most logical one. If there's going to be, hypothetically speaking, recommendations made by the committee to the council and the council implements zoning updates, those zoning updates are gonna take 2 meetings to introduce any local law or ordinance, and then to have a public hearing and ratify the new law. So we're running out of time for that to happen by December 1st, and the way I presented it to the mayor earlier, it's we're either gonna have to do a rush job on it, or we're gonna have to extend the moratorium. And I think for all intents and purposes, the best option for the city is to extend.
And to be
Well, the
fair to
reason
the
why-
Corporation Council, we have been, we have been busy, I put him on other matters of legal matters that have really taken away his ability, because he had intended to get this done a little bit sooner. So to be fair to him, we have kept him busy doing other things for a while.
I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm sure
Yeah.
everybody else is as well, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to, I guess I was trying
No,
to
absolutely.
avoid a reactive situation and
Well,
to, and
exactly.
to have a rush job.
Exactly.
Because this
Exactly.
is
And
too
that's-
important. And we need to-
And the whole thing is gonna be based upon how the members of the committee feel about the recommendations, that they talk about, discuss about. So it could take a while, and it may not take a while, but, by extending the deadline if we have to, that would solve that problem.
That's good foresight, thank you.
Any other
When do
committee?
you recommend that we extend,
It expires at the beginning of December, so it will be one of the next 2 meetings.
Okay.
I would imagine probably at the next meeting, we'll introduce legislation to extend the moratorium.
so if everybody's okay with that, I'll.
Okay. Kelly,
Okay,
let's-
any other committee meetings, or any other committee updates? All right, we do want to go into executive session at the end of this meeting. For personnel?
At the end,
Yeah, at the
it'll
end
take a while.
for personnel. But other than that, yeah, I guess we should kick off the meeting. Where we at?
Okay, we got a minute to go. Why don't we stand for the pledge of allegiance? Call me out.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alderwoman Krista Mars,
Here.
Alderman Holliday,
Here.
Alderwoman Collins.
Here.
Alderman Carpenter.
Here.
Alderman Marticello.
Here. Motion to adopt the agenda.
I will make a motion to adopt the agenda with one consent resolution.
Alderwoman Krista Mars,
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins,
Aye.
Alderman Marticello,
Aye.
and Alderman Carpenter.
We have no proclamations to present this evening, and communications and presentations, pretty clear of those as well. So we are now at the public participation portion of our meeting. If you would like to speak to the council, please approach the podium, state your name, and you have a 5-minute time limit. Okay. So we'll get into the engineering report. Zach, who's here?
All right, so water filtration plant, continues to run seamlessly. Randy's working out for us. We're keeping everything up to date and everything there. We had a meeting this morning with the LED streetlight people. I believe they're actually going to start work on Monday of next week. which is good to start getting those installed. Some more ongoing stuff is the filter units. Those, I believe we should be getting the submittal next week and a half here to review. Those are in production. And we're working on the West Side Pump Station issues. I'm sure Mike has gone into plenty of detail with that. We're kind of in a waiting game on materials at this point. We, just before this meeting, Randy and I did submit our lead service line inventory to the DOH and the EPA. That is a living document, so we're gonna continue to work on it. We don't know what's gonna come of it, but it is submitted now finally. Florida Ave culvert work starts tomorrow. The closure starts tomorrow as well. I'm sure, we'll have some issues, some calls about that. I'm just giving you the heads up, it's in Ward 5, but a lot of people use it,
I
so.
went over there today, I looked it over, it's all marked all over. So
Yep,
they have the markings are all there.
yep,
And the only thing is the detour sign, and if you have to detour and tell them how to go, where you gotta go, that might be a problem, because they're gonna go right up to Florida Avenue. Then they have to go all the way back and all the way around again.
yeah, so they do have,
You
the
can go up
message
Broadway Hill,
signboards.
I would suggest this to you, go up Broadway Hill and over Broadway Avenue and come back on 5. That's a lot easier.
Yeah, I think that's what we talked to them about.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, if you come in from 5S, you'll have to come back out to 5S, obviously.
Okay.
And they should have the message boards up, letting people know well in advance of obviously being stuck on Florida Ave and having to reverse or, turn around. The road program, they're scheduled to have everything done by next Friday. All the roads cleaned up. There's, obviously gonna be punch lists after. There's always something that comes up. West Side Pump Station, like I said, still working on. We're waiting on materials. The golf course new bathrooms are in. I think they're still working on the final touches on flooring in the door. And the roof of the chemical building has been replaced. Esperanza Verde Park, that's underway. We're waiting on the equipment manufacturer to come and install their subgrade stuff before we finish the concrete.
Is it gonna be the same Miller? Is he the contractor for it all?
I
No,
don't,
the playground.
the playground people have their own
people
contractor.
will put up their own equipment. Miller is doing all of the concrete
Okay. All right.
and the splash pad.
Okay.
He's finished them.
The carbon, sorry.
They did a good job.
Yeah, so far it's looking really good. The carbon contactors, we are still working on finding out ways to get this funded. We did have a big meeting with Department of Health Regional Office with the other towns to look at funding avenues through them and kind of get everyone sign off on it. And, we're approaching 30% on the big wastewater treatment plant job. At 30%, we'll do our first submission to DEC and kick off the new permit approval process and development of that. And we'll keep you updated as far as that goes.
Thank you, Zach. Any questions for Zach?
Yes, on the road program,
Yes.
so when you say final paving, you mean like the final coat for like the last group of paving? And then I guess my question was regarding, Glen Avenue had a lot of like torn up ends of their driveway. Is that a punch list item or is that a
Yeah,
final
so
paving item?
That's punch list item. I've
Okay.
let them know about that.
Yeah,
Um,
and then Crescent Street is a final paving, because
yes,
that's still down like a little bit, right?
it should be down an inch to an inch.
Right, okay, yeah, and they're just waiting on Wilbur to be done, and then, so
Yeah, so they're
Wilbur,
starting on Pleasant tomorrow,
okay,
probably doing that area. I'm not 100% sure. That's what they should be doing.
Right.
Obviously, weather is now impacting it
Of
because they
course.
can't pave below 45 degrees. So,
okay,
yeah, like I said, they're scheduled to have the entire base bid done by the end of next week with punch list to follow.
okay, and Glen Avenue is punch list, I just
Yes.
wanna let them know directly. Thank you.
And also, there are streetlights that are out in our city that have been reported to us. And what we have been trying to, since we're getting all new streetlights and they hope to have them all replaced in 3 months, we are telling residents that, they will be replaced within 3 months. We're waiting to get a schedule from the lighting contractor to tell us which areas of the city are going to go when. But at the same time, we don't want to go repair an old street light with another old fixture and then have them come along and take it down. We have to pay a lot of money because National Grid no longer services them. We have to do that with a private contractor. So we're asking residents who report the street light out to exercise a little bit of patience, because it will be replaced within 3 months, maybe sooner, and it will be a brand new LED light. If it's a dangerous situation, if the police chief is made aware of it, we will send in an emergency replacement as quickly as we have to. And in any accidents, we will replace them as well. Okay, but that's what we're, just so the public is aware of that, and you are aware of that if you're contacted by any constituents.
Thank you.
So we're on to the controller's report, Louise.
I passed out a budget summary, and this represents first quarter of our fiscal year. All spending, as you can see, is in line with the way the funds were budgeted. No surprises, so to speak. And our contingency balances, which is basically our rainy day funds, really haven't gone down much. There haven't been too many rainy days yet. So those are still pretty healthy and strong. That's about it.
Any questions for the controller?
How's your tax program going? Yeah,
The what?
your taxes. The tax program, the new program, are you almost done with it, or you
Hasn't
still
been
working
applied
on it?
yet.
Okay.
We have a meeting with them next week, to get an update on that.
Anything else for Louise? Louise, thank you. We have no old business, so we're on to new business, and we'll go through the resolutions.
Resolution 242561 by Alderwoman Quist Demars, resolution adopting minutes of the last common council meeting.
So moved. Any discussion? You can call the roll, please.
Alderwoman Quist Demars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
All right.
Resolution 242562 by Alderman Marticello, resolution waiving late fees due pursuant to section 156.6 of the Amsterdam City Code as it relates to 218 West Main Street.
So moved. I would ask the council for their indulgence on this resolution, and there's probably gonna be many more to come. So we're gonna have to really use our discretion on each and every one of these, because this law is very vague and it's obsolete as far as I'm concerned, and it does need adjustments.
Yeah, but I do want to say that it's vague, and it takes us a while to reach a determination because it is vague. It needs to be simplified, clarified, and we need to come up with a standard punishment. When I say punishment, penalty, and make it less confusing than it is. But the only time the council grants these is if that vagueness is clarified, and I'm hoping that you feel it has been clarified this evening.
Let's just replace vagueness with complicated.
Complicated, yeah.
I don't think it's a vagueness issue.
I got another word, but I think I wouldn't want to use it right here. Okay? Thank you. Any discussion? Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quist Demars.
I'm gonna go with no.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Abstain.
Is it passed?
Thank
What's
you.
the count?
3-1.
Yes.
Resolution 242563 by Alderwoman Collins, resolution authorizing 5-year contract with New York State Unified Court System.
Can you read the whereas pursuant to section 1 of the contract?
Whereas pursuant to section 1 of the contract, New York State Unified Court System seeks to establish a new period of renewal retroactive to April 1st, 2024 and ending on March 31st, 2025 with maximum compensation to the city of Amsterdam for said period being $55,696.
And then you can go to resolve.
Resolved that the attached contract with the New York State Unified Court System is hereby authorized.
Any discussion? So moved. Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quist Demars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Resolution 242564 by Mayor Sinquanti. Resolution authorizing option agreement for the sale and development of 208 through 210 East Main Street and 212 East Main Street to Veterans Time to Thrive, Inc.
So moved.
We've talked about this.
Go ahead, Mayor.
We've talked about this again, just a quick synopsis. This is the VT3 organization. Dave Mendez is at its head. He's been working on this concept for years, and they are getting very close to being able to put together the package they need to build I believe it's a 12-unit apartment complex for exclusive use for U.S. veterans and their families. The concept is a unique concept where veterans who in military service, they work together. Veterans work together, of course, on the battlefield, but families work together when those veterans go to the battlefield. They form communities, and what they're trying to do is reenact that community in an apartment building on the east end of our city. And if it's successful, I think it'll be a model that'll be used throughout the country. But the use of this property is going to be a wonderful thing if they can make that package work. And this option will give them the site control they need to get their grant applications presented and considered. And again, if they do not have all of their ducks in line at the end of this 1-year period, they can come to us and ask for a renewal, but it will be up to the council to decide if they get that renewal or not. So I wholeheartedly endorse this. I think it's a great concept for our city. I'm looking forward to working with these people. Call the roll.
Alderwoman Quist Demars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Resolution 242565 by Alderman Carpenter. Resolution appointing Commissioner of Deeds.
So moved. Any discussion? Grant Eggleston, by the way.
Oh, we get it.
Call the roll.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quist Demars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Resolution 242566 by Alderman Marticello. Resolution authorizing sale of surplus equipment through public auction.
So moved, and I'll make an amendment. And we're gonna amend with these two pieces of material. Which one are they?
Go behind cement mixer.
We're going to add 2 items to it. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, we're adding a tow behind gas powered cement mixer and a nitro.
Spectro
Say it, Sam.
photometer.
There you go.
You have it, Edward? You have
You
it?
got it
Say that.
Okay, on the
on the
amendment,
amendment.
on the amendment.
On the
Call the roll.
amendment. Okay. Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quist Demars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
The resolution as amended.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quist Demars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Thank you.
The audit.
The audit.
The audit and the consent.
Resolution 242567 by Alderwoman Collins. Resolution approving audit.
So moved. Any questions? Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quist Demars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Thank you.
One more.
Resolution 242568 consent by Alderman Holliday. Resolution to engage the professional services of G20 operations as wastewater plant manager.
Read the be it further resolved.
Be it further resolved that the city engineer will coordinate with Mr. Gorman to determine the compliance needs of the city's wastewater treatment plant on a continual basis.
Okay, so moved. Discussion, anyone? Okay, you can call the roll.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion that we go into executive session.
Pursuant to Public Officers Law, Section 105, Sub 1, Sub F, regarding the medical, financial credit, and history of particular person or corporation or matters leading to appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation,
Thank you.
Personnel,
Any discussion?
also known as personnel.
local personnel.
All right, you can call the roll.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
And Alderman Carpenter.
We're not in executive session.
And we don't have any business after this, so.
Oh, yeah, I'll catch up with you later. I'll catch up with you later. Oh, wait, free tomorrow for a minute, that's not